The Goat House is back, and I got my favorite bets and locks for NFL Week 7 here every Thursday with this video. The best picks against the spread for Week 7, a lot to like this week. We have locks, we got leans. The leans have been pretty damn good this year. I'm going to go Green Bay minus 6.5 at Arizona. That line stood out instantly to me being too low, so I'd take the Packers to cover here. I think it's lower than expected because one, Green Bay's been a little underwhelming, but still very good football team. And Arizona surprisingly played the Colts close last week. But to me, that was only because the Colts cornerback room was pretty much depleted. Packers don't really have that issue. I mean, their depth isn't great, but their starters are out there. It's a very good team. They have multiple ways to beat you. The Cardinals, I don't love the vibes there right now. Who's starting at quarterback? They're probably questioning, is Brissett better than Kyler? I feel like it only looked like that because the Colts corner situation, so they have that going on. They don't have a good running back. They're injured, beat up on both sides of the ball. So I'll take Green Bay to kind of get going and look a little bit better as people are doubting them a little bit right now. So I think they win by a bit in this one. And the Commanders, and I just read that Debo and Terry McLaurin neither practiced today. So that's something to monitor. I'm not going to say it's a lock if both those guys are out, but I do like the Commanders this week. It's basically a pick 'em when you're at minus 1.5. I just do not trust the Cowboys defense. The Commanders defense has some issues. They're much, much better than the Cowboys defense. And Dan Quinn, I would imagine, knows how to game plan against this Cowboys offense. On top of that, the Commanders offense could play. They can move the ball. It just comes down to them taking care of the football. They were sloppy in the rain against Chicago last week. I don't think they're going to have those issues against the Cowboys this week. Remember, this is only Jaden Daniels' third game back. Last week was only his second game back, so he's going to get better and better. I would like for one of those receivers to play for me to continue to call this a lock, so keep an eye on that. And I love the Browns. I mean, it's risky because it's Dylan Gabriel in the Browns, and the Dolphins you would think should be better, but my gut is just telling me the Browns are better in this matchup, and they're going to win this game, and they're going to cover it, so I want to put it up here, so I'm going to do that. It's in Cleveland. The weather's, it's probably going to be beautiful football weather out there, but it's starting to get a little windier. It's not ideal for Miami. The vibes are very much down in Miami. They've been down, and now Tua throwing other players under the team, under the bus, basically. No Tyreek Hill. They can't stop. They're terrible stopping the run, and that's what the Browns do well. Judkins has a big game here. The Browns also play defense very well, and the Dolphins, the only thing they got going for them right now consistently is Achane, but the Browns stop the run at a high level. Tua's turned the ball over. This is a perfect matchup for the Browns. If they can't win this one at home, they're not going to win any game, in my opinion. So they win this one. They might win by 3. They might squeak that line off, but I am willing to take that risk because I'm feeling it. I said I was staying away from Thursday games because they've been weird, so I'll put it under the lean. I like it. I think 5.5 points is too much for the Bengals to be underdogs by. I have them winning. It's a bold pick. I'm very aware. There's a scenario where the Steelers kick their ass, but Bengals, much better offense with Joe Flacco. The weapons could actually get the ball. Jamar Chase ready to break out like he always does against the Steelers. The defense is well coached. They're just don't have the best talent out there, but I don't see the Steelers pulling away by that much in this one. I think the Bengals realistically can win. Thursday's been a little wacky with the underdog, so why not? The Niners minus 1.5, a little risky because they're very, very beat up right now, and the Falcons are playing good ball, but the Falcons got to go from Atlanta all the way to San Francisco back-to-back Monday night football game, or this is Sunday night, back-to-back prime time games, I should say here. I think McCaffrey's a new challenge for Atlanta. I think he's going to give them problems. The Niners should get a little healthier, even though they take steps back, they take steps forward, and they take steps back with the injuries. So we'll see. But I think McCaffrey has a big day. I don't trust the Falcons to be on the same page on offense and defense at the same time. Patriots minus 7. It's a big line. Maybe the Titans have a little bit of a spark firing their coach, but the Patriots are playing really good ball. The Titans are just terrible. The Patriots are going to stop the run, force Cam Ward, who could be a decent rookie. He's a decent rookie at times, but force him in uncomfortable, obvious passing situations where that's right where the Patriots want him. They have potential to win huge in this game. I'm not going to call it a lock because 7 is a pretty big line, but I'm confident they cover that. So a lot to like this week, kind of go with my gut with some. We got to monitor the receiver injuries for the Commanders. If one receiver is out of Debo and McLaurin, I'm fine with it. If both are out, I'm not going to call it a lock, but I'm still probably going to pick the Commanders in that one because I do not trust the Cowboys defense. Check out our videos. We got pick show, up score predictions, trade deadline videos, a lot more and more to come. And don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications on. Loads of NFL content, but we got straight up locks. Teams that are just straight up going to win. 17-6 on these on the year. There's been some crazy upsets. We're still doing pretty well. Patriots, we just talked about against the Titans. They're a good football team. Mike Vrabel revenge game. He's going to get that revenge. Chiefs against the Raiders. Bad time for the Raiders to be playing the Chiefs. Really not much of a game plan for Rashee Rice, and the Chiefs' offense is really getting going right now, and the defense really stepped up in the second half against the Lions of all teams. Chiefs at home, take care of business. Packers against the Cardinals. The Cardinals, again, I don't really love the vibes out there. They're banged up. They're running out of running backs. The Packers, it almost feels like they're out to prove something right now. It's a really good team. And I'm kind of leaning with Denver there. They're a little scary because the Giants are scary. They're sneaky. And the Broncos, because the offense is a little underwhelming. It's a really good matchup. The defense is so good. They definitely should handle business. But 3 absolute straight-up locks that I love this week. Some bonus picks. We got a couple team totals, which I've been liking this year, and a potential upset, which we've been calling some upsets, the Panthers especially the last couple weeks. But Commanders, I think they'll go over 27.5. Again, I got a lot of Commanders in this video. It depends on if they have one of those star receivers playing. They're both out of practice, but Debo, it almost looked like he wasn't going to play. He ended up playing last week, so I'd imagine he plays. The Cowboys' defense is just horrendous. The Commanders, we know they have an explosive offense. We know they can move the ball. They just turned it over too much last week, and they still scored some points. This is a much easier defense they're going against this week. The Bucs are pretty banged up, but it sounds like Mike Evans will play. The Lions defense is struggling and it's beat up. 23.5 seems very doable even if the Bucs lose. That's kind of surprisingly low, but the Lions was surprisingly low last week, and that was one Vegas was right about. So, but that seems low, especially with Mike Evans looking like he's going to play, but I guess maybe we would like confirmation on that. And I've been throwing an upset in here, so we'll go with the Vikings money line. Plus 110 against the Eagles. It's kind of a 50-50 game. There's some risk because we know at any given time the Eagles could start looking like the Eagles once again. And if they do, they might destroy Minnesota in this game because Minnesota's been, they have a positive record, but they've been a little underwhelming. They've been very banged up, but they're going to get healthier. The Eagles feel like they're getting more injured. Quinyon Mitchell being a big one if he's out because the corners are already struggling. And Minnesota has some of the best receivers in football, obviously. So that, Wentz revenge game, he's throwing the ball pretty well. The Eagles just don't feel right now. This is a good spot to take the Eagles' opponent while they're just still trying to figure things out. They have to prove to me that they're even close to figuring out for me to say, they're going to win the game. So the more and more I think about it, the Eagles struggling against zone. They're beating up man. The Vikings run the least man. They're running a lot of zone. Brian Flores mixes up the looks, shows different blitz. You don't know if he's blitzing or not. So there's a lot of reasons to pick Minnesota, even though there's some risk here. So until the Eagles prove that they're back, I'd like a team like the Vikings off the bye getting healthier at home here. So some different type of betting options here. And we'll have even more on our Twitter and Patreon every single week. Links pinned in the comments. Parlay time. Last week's hit. I'm tempted to go 5-game parlay or 6-game parlay, but I'm always been pretty stubborn with that in a good way, right? Keep it at 4. But here's some options. The Chiefs money line seems free. The Patriots money line seems free. Now let's get those odds in there. Let's boost those odds. The Commanders, if they have one of those receivers. I know there's a lot of big questions here with the Commanders, but I do like them to beat the Cowboys. I do not trust the Cowboys defense. I trust the Commanders. I mean, I have my questions about the Commanders offense. I just don't think they apply against the Cowboys defense here. And the Browns against Miami, I broke down the matchup earlier in the video. If the Browns can't win this one, they're not going to win any this year, but they're actually a better team than expected. I worry about Dylan Gabriel, but they're going to run all over Miami, and they're going to cause problems on defense. It's in Cleveland. It might be a little windy, a little nippy out there. It's not going to be cold, but it affects the Dolphins, and things just aren't right over there from top to bottom. They're not right. So I do like Cleveland. So you're getting the odds from Commanders and the Browns here. Again, maybe you don't like one. You don't agree with me on one, so remove that one. You could add the Packers. You could add the Broncos too. It's a little scary based on the Giants and the Broncos, how they're both playing right now. The Broncos mainly on one side of the ball. But yeah, I mean, I do like Green Bay. If you had the 5-game parlay, it's 467. But since we're taking the risk on Washington and Cleveland, I don't want to put 3 obvious favorites in there because looking at this year's NFL, one could shockingly get upset. But it just kind of some options here that you guys can pick what you want. Because, again, if you don't have the Commanders winning or you're super worried about the receiver health, then don't use it, right? Or if you're like the Browns, do not trust Dylan Gabriel. I could see people saying that, so don't use it, right? So we got to put some close games in there, take some risks. We did it last week with a couple games on top of some ones that felt a little easier, so that's how we do things. Again, more parlays, more bets on our Twitter, on game days, and our Patreon. Anytime touchdown picks been killing it this year. I love it. I love the plus options this week. I am stunned that what the players we have here as plus options. We'll start with them. Justin Jefferson, plus 115. I'd imagine that changes in a couple days. Going against the Eagles, who are struggling at corner, and now Quinyon Mitchell's a little banged up on top of it. Maybe Jordan Addison's, that's another one too. I didn't see any odds yet on Jordan Addison. That could be another good one that's a little bit better odds, probably a lot better odds than Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase plays tonight against the Steelers. Flacco can get him the ball, unlike Jake Browning. The Steelers defense is really good. It's just not your old elite Steelers defense. And Jamar Chase, he dominates pretty much everyone usually, but it seems like he always scores touchdowns on the Steelers. And Rashee Rice, first game back. I know he had an injury last year, but technically he's not coming off an injury right now. He's ready to roll. They're gonna force it, I think, which they don't need to force it, but I have a feeling they do it, and it's gonna be all day against that Raiders secondary that's pretty thin on really solid players, any solid players at all. So I could see Rice scoring, whether it's a screen pass or a deep ball or just a run after the catch on a slant. All of the above is possible. So I'm very surprised about these plus options. I think these are definitely worth the shot. Single leg, you want to parlay them, go crazy, whatever. Most likely, Quinshaw Judkins might be my favorite one this week. Against the worst run defense, and not just the worst run defense, but the Dolphins' run defense is brutal. If the Browns want any shot to win, you run the ball at home, outdoor, do it. They're going to score. He's going to score. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lions receiver, going against the Bucs. If you notice, the Lions have played the Bucs quite a few times over the years. And St. Brown has gone wild every single time, and the Bucs are allowing a bit through the secondary. He's going to dominate from the slot. It's a really good matchup. Jonathan Taylor's been, obviously awesome, scoring quite a bit. And the weakness of the Chargers defense right now, really the only weakness of the Chargers defense is run defense. So I'd imagine he scores. Just what if Herbert's throwing all over them and the Colts are down and they got to play keep up? Maybe they'll run the ball a little less. I still think he could score. Josh Jacobs, a scoring machine, going against the Cardinals. I'd imagine he gets in. And it sure sounds like Mike Evans is going to play now, and being by far the best option for the Bucs at receiver with a Detroit defense that's allowing a lot through the air, and they're without their two starting corners, and they'll be without Branch due to suspension. And now Kirby Joseph's banged up as well. That would almost be a guarantee if Evans plays and all those guys are out, which it looks like 3 out of 4 are for sure out. So Mike Evans, another good one. There's even more than this. These just feel like, oh my God, like we're what are we missing here with these odds? But touchdown picks been working out pretty well. The plus options just look very good this week. But we'll have more picks on each of the game days, of course, on social media. My college football pick of the week, I'm going to go with the Buckeyes. And last week, Michigan State let us down. But I think I said it during the video. I couldn't decide. Michigan State or another one I really liked. And I liked Houston, of course, they covered. So that's why I put who else I considered as locks, other ones that I really like, because I want to hold back on those other ones. There's a lot more that I like, a lot more. And the parlay's been going crazy. I posted 6 parlays total combined from the last 2 weeks. We hit 4 out of 6. We're going to be building more of those for this week for our Patreon and Twitter subscribers. So those will be on the way. But I do like Ohio State. It's a big line, 24.5 against Wisconsin. Ohio State, the best team in the country for a reason. In my opinion, they're right there with Miami. Even teams like Texas Tech and Texas A&M and Indiana are, in that discussion for me as well. But Ohio State, I'd say early in the year, the offense was a little underwhelming. The defense was the best in the country, still is the best in the country. But now it feels like the offense is starting to click. Makes sense. They had a freshman quarterback in there. It's really starting to click. They got the playmakers. So they're much more than just a defensive team, in my opinion. Wisconsin's really struggling. They were only underdogs by 3 against Iowa last week, and Iowa beat the brakes off of them. And that's, Ohio State has some similarities with a defensive team, a much better defense, but really good defense. But they have much more offense than Iowa, too. And Wisconsin's been dealing with injuries, especially at the quarterback position. I think vibes got to be down there. Ohio State is probably going to rip them pretty good. I just don't see Wisconsin scoring enough points here. Like, what do they score? 10 maximum, it feels like. 13 at the very most. And I definitely see Ohio State getting, well into the 30s, maybe even more. I mean, they're not going to score 50. I mean, they could, but I guess it's a tricky part. Does Ohio State's offense score enough? But I think the defense is the part, and again, the Ohio State offense is getting better and better. I almost put Texas Tech in here against Arizona State, -7.5, but Sam Leavitt will be playing for Arizona State. They're home. Maybe they have the advantage there, but Texas Tech is the better team. There's a really good football team on both sides of the ball. I think they can win by 10+. In Cincinnati, -20.5 against Oklahoma State. I've been saying pick against Oklahoma State, and we can just continue to do that. Oklahoma State is really, really bad. They are home on a night game, so sometimes that makes it closer than it's supposed to be. But Cincinnati's playing some pretty good football right now on both sides of the ball. Some of their games have been close, though. They kind of kept the games close, even though they're winning. So that's kind of the only scare, but they can end up winning by 30+ very easily. And there's a lot more that I like, but at the end of the day, I went with Ohio State. I'm not scared of Wisconsin one bit here in this game. I just don't think they can do enough to. They might not even score. That's the thing here. They might not. I'm sure they get some points at the end or maybe on the first possession off the script. There's a shot they don't score. There's a good shot they score under 10. And Ohio State is starting to put up a little bit more points up on the board. We have more picks. I've been loving the parlays more than the actual single picks this year, which is different for me. But for college football, we'll have those posted on our Twitter and our Patreon. But that'll do it for Week 7. Again, monitor some injuries. Talking about those Commanders receivers. I mean, I'd imagine Debo plays this week. But that's a big one, especially for the picks that I had in this video, the Commanders. But I just don't trust that Cowboys defense. I keep saying it. I'll say it again and again. Don't trust it. I do love their offense, though. It's pretty explosive. But that'll wrap it up. Check out all our videos. We got more coming. Like, subscribe to notifications on. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.